In the grand theater of the natural world, survival often hinges on the extraordinary. We're so used to the marvel of flight, the domain of birds and insects, creatures gifted with wings. But what if I told you that the skies are also home to travelers who've mastered the art of aerial locomotion without ever growing a single feather? These are the gliders, the parachutists, the gravity defiers of the animal kingdom. They have, through remarkable evolutionary ingenuity, found ways to take to the air, transforming their bodies into living aerofoils, turning a perilous fall into a controlled and graceful descent. Consider for a moment the seemingly earthbound snake. Most folks imagine it slithering through the undergrowth, a creature of the forest floor. Yet in the jungles of Southeast Asia, there are snakes that launch themselves from the highest branches, soaring through the canopy with an elegance that seems to defy all logic. This isn't flight in the conventional sense, but a masterful glide, a testament to the boundless adaptability of life. It's a breathtaking spectacle that really shows just how inventive nature can be when faced with the challenges of survival and movement. These wingless aviators aren't isolated curiosities. They're found across the globe, in forests, oceans, and skies. Each has developed its own unique method for conquering the air, a specialized toolkit for a life lived between the trees or above the waves. Today we're going to embark on a journey to meet 10 of these incredible creatures. From the treetops to the open ocean, get ready to witness the astonishing ways in which life has learned to dance with gravity. Let's begin our exploration of these masters of the air. Our journey begins high in the canopy of Southeast Asia, home to a creature that performs a truly astonishing feat. This is the paradise tree snake, more commonly known as the flying snake. It doesn't possess wings, nor does it have any obvious features that would suggest an aerial capability. Yet when it needs to move from one tree to another, or maybe escape a predator, it does something quite remarkable. It hurls itself into the void, launching from a high branch with what appears to be reckless abandon. But honestly, this is no suicidal leap. It's the beginning of a controlled and elegant glide. As it falls, the snake performs an incredible transformation. It flattens its entire body, sucking in its stomach and flaring out its ribs to almost double its width. This turns its cylindrical form into a concave, ribbon-like shape, a living wing that catches the air. It then begins a series of sinuous S-shaped undulations, not just wriggling but actually shaping the airflow around it. This intricate dance lets it steer, change direction, and travel horizontal distances of up to 100 meters. It's a breathtaking display of biomechanical genius, a serpent soaring where it seemingly has no right to be. Across the temperate and boreal forests of the northern hemisphere, another aerial artist makes its home. This is the flying squirrel. A nocturnal and often secretive creature, it spends much of its life navigating the three-dimensional world of the forest canopy. While it's a masterful climber, moving from branch to branch, its true specialty is revealed when the gap between trees becomes just a bit too wide to leap. It climbs up to a high point, judges the distance with remarkable accuracy, and then launches itself into the night air. Its secret lies in a furry membrane of skin called the patagium. This remarkable structure stretches from its wrists to its ankles on either side of its body. When the squirrel leaps, it extends all four limbs, pulling the patagium taut and transforming itself into a square-shaped kite. This broad surface area creates significant lift, allowing it to glide with extraordinary control. It can steer with subtle movements of its legs and uses its flattened tail as a rudder for fine adjustments, and as an air brake to ensure a soft, precise landing on its target tree trunk, ready to scamper away into the darkness. Deeper in the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia, we encounter the undisputed champion of all mammalian gliders. This is the colugo, an animal so perfectly adapted for an aerial lifestyle that it's often, though incorrectly, called a flying lemur. It's not a lemur at all, but belongs to its own unique order of mammals, the Dermoptera, which, by the way, translates to skin wings. And what skin wings they are. The colugo possesses the most extensive patagium of any gliding mammal on Earth. This enormous membrane of skin extends from its neck, encompasses its limbs all the way to the tips of its fingers and toes, and even connects to the end of its tail. When fully unfurled, it creates a vast kite-like surface that is almost as large as the animal's body itself. This allows the colugo to perform glides of astonishing length, sometimes covering over 150 meters in a single journey with minimal loss of altitude. It's a silent, ghostly presence in the canopy, a living parachute drifting effortlessly from one giant feeding tree to the next, a master of its arboreal realm. Chapter 4. The Ocean's Silver Wings. Our search for wingless aviators now takes us from the forest canopy to the vast expanse of the tropical and subtropical oceans. Here, beneath the waves, danger is ever present. For small fish, the hunter can appear from any direction, but one group of fish has evolved a spectacular escape strategy that takes them into an entirely different element. These are the flying fish. When pursued by a predator like a tuna or a dolphin, they don't just dive for cover. They head for the surface and take to the air. Gathering immense speed underwater, the fish angles itself upwards and bursts through the surface. As it leaves the water, it spreads its exceptionally large, wing-like pectoral fins. These fins, rigid and perfectly shaped, catch the wind, providing lift. While airborne, the fish rapidly beats its tail, which remains in the water, propelling it forward like an outboard motor. Once it has enough velocity, it lifts its tail clear and glides, sometimes for hundreds of meters, soaring just above the waves. It is a fleeting, shimmering spectacle, a flash of silver against the blue, that often means the difference between life and death. Chapter 5. The Dragon of the Treetops. We return to the forests of Southeast Asia, a true hotspot for gliding evolution. Here, a small reptile has taken on the guise of a mythical beast. This is the Draco lizard, often called the flying dragon. It is a diminutive and unassuming creature spending its days hunting insects on tree trunks. But when it needs to traverse the gaps in the canopy, it reveals its extraordinary secret. It doesn't just jump, it unfurls a pair of magnificent, brightly colored wings. These are not wings in the conventional sense. They are formed by a set of elongated ribs that the lizard can extend and retract at will, stretching out loose folds of skin called gular flags along its sides. When it leaps from a branch, it fans out these ribs, creating two semicircular patagia that catch the air. This allows the Draco to glide with remarkable stability and control, often for distances of 20 or 30 meters, from a high perch to a lower landing spot on a neighboring tree. It's a dazzling display, a flash of color as this tiny dragon takes temporary ownership of the air. Chapter 6. The Sweet-Toothed Night Glider. Under the cover of darkness in the woodlands of Australia and New Guinea, a small, endearing marsupial emerges. This is the sugar glider, named for its fondness for sweet nectar and sap, and for its remarkable method of travel. Like the flying squirrel, it is a creature of the high canopy, and moving between the scattered eucalyptus trees requires a special skill. This small possum has perfected the art of gliding to navigate its nocturnal world and forage for food. Its gliding apparatus is a thin patagium stretching from its forelegs to its hind legs. Though not as extensive as the colugos, it is more than sufficient for its needs. Before a flight, it will bob its head, judging the distance and trajectory with its large night vision eyes. Then, with a powerful push, it launches into the darkness, stretching its membrane to form a furry airfoil. It can expertly steer by adjusting the tension in the patagium and using its long, bushy tail as a stabilizing rudder, allowing it to swoop and turn to land with pinpoint accuracy on a distant branch, ready to seek out its next sugary meal. So, our journey brings us back to a familiar strategy, but this time, in a different performer. While we have already met the flying snake, nature has, seen fit to evolve this incredible ability more than once within the serpent world. Now, we encounter its close relative, the paradise tree snake. This species is perhaps the most accomplished of all the gliding snakes, a true jewel of the rainforest canopy. Adorned with a stunning pattern of green scales tipped with red and yellow, it is, honestly, a vibrant splash of color against the foliage. Like its cousins, it prepares for its aerial journey by climbing high and launching itself into space. It too flattens its body into that remarkable concave shape, turning itself into a living ribbon. But the paradise tree snake seems to have an even greater degree of control. Its mid-air undulations are precise and controlled, allowing it to make sharp turns and adjustments to its flight path. Scientists studying its aerodynamics have been astounded by the level of lift it generates, a feat of biological engineering that lets it glide with an efficiency that, wow, rivals many purpose-built gliders. It's a truly magnificent serpent of the air. In the humid, moss-laden rainforests of Borneo and Malaysia, even the amphibians have found a way to conquer the air. Here lives Wallace's flying frog, a stunning creature with bright green skin and, well, a surprising talent. It spends its life in the trees, often many meters above the forest floor. For a frog, descending from such a height could be a dangerous, uncontrolled fall. But this remarkable amphibian has evolved a simple yet highly effective solution. It turns itself into a parachute. The key to its ability lies in its feet. Wallace's flying frog has enormous webbed hands and feet, far larger than what would be needed for swimming. When it leaps from a branch, it spreads all four limbs wide, stretching the extensive webbing between its long toes and fingers. These four membranes catch the air, slowing its descent dramatically. It's less of a glide and more of a controlled parachute drop. By angling its limbs, it can steer its fall, allowing it to aim for a specific landing spot, maybe a broadleaf or a pool of water, turning a potentially fatal plunge into a soft and gentle landing. We now venture back to the open ocean, where another unlikely creature has mastered the art of aerial travel. It's a mollusk, a group of animals we usually associate with slow, bottom-dwelling lives. But the Japanese flying squid, honestly, it defies all expectations. Like the flying fish, it uses the air as an escape route from predators in the deep, but its method of getting there is entirely unique. It is, in essence, a jet-propelled aeronaut. To achieve flight, the squid first sucks a large amount of water into its mantle cavity. Then it contracts its muscles violently, expelling the water through a siphon, a sort of biological jet engine that propels it out of the water at great speed. Once airborne, it spreads its fins and arms to create a set of wings, generating aerodynamic lift. It can even steer by adjusting its fins and can shoot smaller jets of water from its siphon for extra thrust while in the air. These flights can last for several seconds and cover distances of over 30 meters, a truly incredible sight of a creature of the deep soaring through the sky. For our final gravity-defying creature, we find ourselves back in the familiar forests of Southeast Asia looking for, well, a master of disguise. The flying gecko, or parachute gecko, is an expert at camouflage its mottled skin, allowing it to blend in perfectly with tree bark. This cryptic lifestyle helps it avoid predators, but when concealment fails and it needs to make a quick escape, it takes to the air on a short but effective flight. This gecko is adorned with an array of flaps and webbing. It has flaps of skin along its sides between its toes, and even a flattened tail with frilly edges. These might seem like minor additions, but when the gecko leaps from a tree, they all play a crucial role. By spreading its limbs and flattening its body, these flaps of skin catch the air, creating drag and a small amount of lift. This allows it to glide, or more accurately, parachute at a steep angle to a nearby tree. It may not be the most accomplished glider on our list, but it's a perfect example of how even small adaptations can be used to master the air for a few precious seconds. From the undulating flight of a snake to the jet-propelled leap of a squid, we've witnessed the sheer wonder of evolutionary adaptation. These 10 creatures, and many others like them, remind us that the boundaries we perceive in nature are often illusions. The air is not solely for the winged. With the right anatomy and the right pressures of survival, life finds a way to conquer any element. Each glider tells a unique story of ingenuity, A physical poem written by millions of years of trial and error, a testament to the fact that there's always more than one way to solve a problem. The ability to move through the air, even for just a few moments, opens up a new world of possibilities. A faster escape route, a more efficient way to forage, or a bridge across a daunting gap. These animals have reshaped their bodies and behaviors to exploit this aerial dimension, creating a world of silent, fleeting flight that exists just beyond our everyday notice. It serves as a powerful reminder of the hidden marvels that are all around us, in the canopies of forests we have yet to fully explore, and the depths of oceans we are only just beginning to understand. The natural world is a treasure trove of such incredible stories. Each species is a chapter in the grand narrative of life on Earth, filled with surprising twists and awe-inspiring characters. We've only scratched the surface of what there is to discover. Which of these gravity-defying creatures amazed you the most? Was it the serpentine grace of the flying snake or the unexpected flight of the squid? Let us know in the comments below. And if you wish to continue this journey of discovery with us, be sure to subscribe for more extraordinary tales from our planet.